Hi everyone, my name is Ayça. I'm a cloud developer advocate at Microsoft. And in today's session, we are going to continue in the series of building custom engine agents with Agent Framework. So in the last session, in the last community call, we did build and run your first agent part. So if you're interested, please go ahead and check out the recordings. In this session, we will add on the existing code we built in the previous session, and we will add a document search with Azure AI Search. So we are going to create a knowledge base that connects to multiple knowledge sources, and you will learn a little bit about what are knowledge sources, etc. So I'm going to walk you through how things are actually working behind the scene, how our agent connects to Azure AI Search, and how do we actually create the knowledge base, knowledge sources, etc., all these details. But before we do that, I actually want to show you what is the expectation from the agent, what is the behavior we need. And the agent requires us to bring some claim details when I ask about 5 claims in South region, or show me auto claims with medium severity, or if you just share the claim number and ask if you want more details about a specific claim, you can basically copy paste the claim number and ask for details. So agent will share all of the details, receiving the details from AI search and sharing the same details with you in Copilot chat. So this agent is currently running on Copilot chat, and I'm going to show you how I built the entire integration in AI search to our agent with the code. So this is the expected behavior, and by following these steps, you'll be able to complete this exercise as well. And also, before I jump into the code, I want to mention that if you ever complete these many steps in custom engine agent section, make sure to also apply for your badge, because you'll be eligible for a badge if you complete custom engine agents new exercises. So you should be able to receive your digital badge and share with any channel you want. Okay, so let's get started. The concepts, first of all, I want to run through the exercise, what you're going to do, and then I'll jump into the code. First of all, we're going to create a new service under the services folder, KnowledgeBaseService. This is where we actually create everything related to Azure AI Search. We are deploying the Azure AI. So we are basically creating all of the indexes in Azure AI Search, and then we are indexing the documents and data into Azure AI Search using this service. It's actually better if I jump into Azure AI, into our source code right away. So in the previous session, what you learned is that we have an agent that connects to plugins, and that those plugins, if we need to, can consume services. So in today's session, we are going to add more tools and skills into our agent. And to be able to do that, we are going to add the knowledge based service. So in a knowledge based service, the first thing we do is indexing data. And data comes from, again, our data folder under infra. If you extend here sample data, you should be able to see claim.json, policies.json, and also there are more documents available. We are going to use those in the later steps, but we are automating all that in our knowledge-based service. So if you F5, you will see that these data sets will be indexed into Azure AI Search. And in the following section, after creating the index and after indexing all of that data, what you're going to see is actually, first, we are setting up the knowledge source on top of the index, and then knowledge base that consumes all of the knowledge sources. Just to visualize things a little bit, I want to go to Azure AI Search and show you how things actually work in the knowledge bases, knowledge sources. So things are a bit complex when we just word them out, but if you see, maybe that will be helpful as well. So this is our index that we index all of our data here. We should be able to get all of the claim details in our index. And then because we will have more knowledge sources later, what we are doing is actually creating a knowledge source on top of any type of data we have. Today, we are actually creating a knowledge source on top of index, but later this can be an MCP server, SharePoint remote, or it can be a blob storage. So multiple knowledge sources can be created. So you can envision this like we will, in the future, we will have 4 or 5 different knowledge sources that are connected to a single knowledge base. So here the idea is to centralize our knowledge into a single knowledge base that can communicate everything throughout different types of knowledge sources. And those knowledge, usually when we work in a production level agent, that agent knowledge sources are not a single place knowledge source. It is usually coming from different places where we need to connect and grab those information. So instead of doing all that setup in a code, what we are doing here is actually creating a knowledge base, and everything is centralized in an Azure AI Search knowledge base. And in our code, instead of connecting to different types of knowledge sources, we are just connecting to a single knowledge base that manages all of our connection to data. So we don't have to worry about our data coming from different places. So this is what our knowledge base service does. And this is how our data is indexed in a single place too. What is next is, if you follow the exercise, you'll see that you will be creating your first plugin. In the first exercise, you saw that we already have start conversation plugin. This is going to be the first plugin you will be creating. And here, if you scroll down and see, in the plugin, we have instructions, what this plugin does. This is a claim specialist, and then underneath you'll see multiple things this plugin can do. Get claim details, and then get field value. Notify user is basically the function we use across all of these capabilities. But as you can see, we have 2 different functions here. And the way of calling them is actually, if you go to your agent, there are a couple of things you have to do. First of all, if you want to be able to use this skill, this plugin, then what you will do is you will define those under your instructions first. Here, as you see, previously our instructions were a lot shorter. Now we have a new sentence about the claim search. Now it says that for claim search, use these functions. And these functions are coming from our claims plugin. And claims plugin, these functions are basically using our knowledge base service. So anytime that we need to call our knowledge base, we are basically calling knowledge base service inside the search claims and get claim details functions. So instructions, defining those in instructions is obviously not enough. If you scroll down, you should be able to see that we also need to define those as tools. So here at the beginning in the first session, we saw that we have start conversation plugin and start conversation function defined here as a tool already. But now we have 2 more added in the line. We are registering claims plugin functions here, search claims, get claim details as tool options available. That means that if needed, our agent is able to use those as an option, as a new skill underneath. And then we should be good to go. We just need to update the program CS, where we actually initialize Azure AI Search knowledge base, and we retrieve all of those. Basically, if you already did that, if you already did F5 and created all those, we are skipping this, so we are not recreating everything. But if you are running this for the first time, you'll be creating claim index, knowledge source, knowledge base, and then index sample claims data, meaning basically you'll be able to search your data. And in the next exercise, when you create a new knowledge source on top of a new data set, then you will be connecting to the existing knowledge base. You won't be creating a new knowledge base. The extra knowledge source you create will be directly connecting to our existing knowledge base. And this is about it. If you go to Copilot Developer Camp, you should be able to follow all of those steps. And the idea here is to actually not get very structured data and definitions. The idea here is to challenge our agent and being able to get answers, not just for, get the details for this claim or that claim, but we should be also able to filter the data out, because the knowledge base in Azure AI Search is capable of doing extra things in addition to doing a normal structured data search. It is an intelligent knowledge base that can bring you more information, even if you ask vague questions like find claims in South region or show me auto claims with medium severity. So all of these should be handled by the knowledge base layer. That means your agent is actually getting more lightweight. Your knowledge base is handling all of the details regarding your search experience. So behind the scene, you should be just handling the agent setup, and knowledge base should be handling all of the knowledge source connections, getting the information from the top evaluated knowledge source, etc. All of those details is handled through knowledge base. Okay, so I think I'm almost done. So what we're going to do next week is actually adding a vision analysis. We will talk about how we can set up multimodal environment in our agent. We will be using Mistral model in addition to our GPT model. And also, on top of the knowledge base concept, the reason why I'm jumping into the next exercise is because we talked about knowledge base. In this exercise, in addition to exciting vision analysis, what we're adding here is actually a new knowledge source. We are adding a blob storage here so that we can upload all of the images related to each claim. And the same knowledge base will again consume a blob storage knowledge source in addition to the extra indexes we have. So that means that our knowledge base will be growing along the way when we add new functionalities with the new exercises. And this is the idea, more exciting labs coming. If you follow through, you will see that there are more exciting functionalities getting added in the agent. We're just at the beginning, so things are a bit plain at the moment. But if you follow all of the instructions, all of the exercises, you'll see that this agent will become really capable of handling every single question related to our claims and doing search across policies, images, the text data, etc. So it's going to become something much more exciting.